It's so funny. I'm sitting here and we're talking about Trailer Park University, and I think back of being in the trailer park. I think about where I am right now, and the lessons that I am still, reflecting on are relevant today. I mean, I learned about inclusion because if you showed up, you were included. I learned about being a good decision maker because I was the only decision maker every afternoon until 5:30 till my parents got home. I learned about goal setting. There's so many things that when I reflect back on that I'm still benefiting from. And I think all of us have those lessons. There's also some things that I've had to rethink that I learned there that weren't true. And that you'll have to get at Trailer Park University. So I grew up at 848 North 91st East Place in this trailer park. It was 14 feet wide by 70 feet long, which seemed huge at the time, but I think everybody thinks that about their childhood home. Everybody in that trailer park, we all had that in common, and so that was family. The very first lesson that I remember was dramatic. I come home from school one day and my dad's there and he asks the question, "Did you do your homework?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any homework. I just, I have to decide what I want to be when I grow up by tomorrow," because it was career day. And, he very plainly says, "Well, I don't know what you're going to be, but if you're going to go to college, it's got to be on a softball scholarship." And then he threw me a gut punch and a lifeline. And the gut punch was, and I don't think that's going to be easy because you're not even the best person on your team now, which I'm literally in third grade. But then the lifeline was this. It was, but that doesn't matter. You can have anything you want. All you've got to do is outwork everyone else. That's all you have to do. And that continues to define me today. The trailer park where I would have gone to junior high would have been in a different school system that was not known for sports. And so at the time, Union High School here in Tulsa was, they had this big multi-purpose center that they were building. And my dad was like, "That's the district we need to move into." And because of that move, I was in a school district where college coaches were regularly, in the stands. And I ended up at the University of Oklahoma because Marita Hines was one of those coaches that was in the stands. So I go to the University of Oklahoma, everything's going well, and then my first college tournament, I collide with another player and crush my kneecap. The doctor comes in and says, "Listen, your career's over, your kneecap is crushed, there's nothing we could do." And Marita Hines, she comes up next to me and she leans over and she says, "I don't think this doctor knows you very well." And she looked at my parents and she said, "Get her back to the university in the fall and I'll honor her scholarship." She knew from where I came, and she knew that was my way out. And I did pretty well. I ended up on the U.S. national team. I got to play in Japan one summer. I played in the Olympic Sports Festival, so it turned out well, but it was a rough few years. When I got out of college, I ended up selling cars for a year, which is the craziest story that I learned amazing lessons at. In that job, I walk out to sell somebody a car that just walked on the lot. She seemed familiar to me. She said, "Well, I'm about to open an office here in Oklahoma City, and I'm going to be looking for salespeople if you're interested." At the same time, Carolyn Van Howen, whom I adore, who hired me to sell cars, she said, "You got to get out of here. If you get used to this money and these hours, you'll never be able to leave." And so I pursued that other job. So I ended up working for that company for 29 years. At some point, they did tap me on the shoulder to become a vice president. My business partner, Wally, was very influential in that, not only getting me the opportunity, but also talking me into taking it. And one day we were bought out by another company, and we went to a meeting, and they came in and said, there were 34 vice presidents. Well, all of you are going to be fired. All of you are going to lose your job. So I sent Wally a text. I just got fired. And he replied back, "I'm getting fired now." So he called and he was super happy and excited, and I am just on the floor, and he goes, "Now we can start our business." So we started the Exceptional Leaders Lab. I travel all over the world, and gosh, it's just, I could not have predicted this, nor would I have left that company. I wanted to do a TED Talk. You know, Trailer Park University was really what I wanted it to be. Like, I wanted to talk about the lessons I learned in the trailer park, how that served me, and it was the best education money can't buy. So I do this TED Talk, and I think it's a one and done, and then we start to get all these calls. We'd like to hire Tracy to do Trailer Park University. So, I mean, wherever you are right now, you are a product of everything that's happened to you in your whole life. And so Trailer Park University is just the journey that you've been on up until this point. All of those lessons, all of those influences, they have, you know, informed where you're sitting right now. And so my invitation is that you think about where you're sitting and go, do I like where I'm sitting? Is this as good as it gets? Do I have a toe tag on my future already? Or am I willing to do something differently so that I can have all the things that I want? I think most people spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their life. I think we have to inventory that before it's too late. There's so many people that get to the end of their life and they say, I wish I would over all the things. No. Right now, decide what is it that you want and build a life that supports that.